Howdy, folks. How we doing? How we doing today? Hey, Christinos. Hello, Erica. Hello, Paladin Lost. Hello, Punky Gal. Hello, Lot of Apples. Hello, 10-letter name. Hello, Kyrio. Hello, Malachi. Hello, Metal Kitty Mom. How we doing, folks? How we doing? Doing real good today? Hell yeah. Not super great? Sorry to hear that. The blankie emotes are always nice. I agree, it's a Roro, and hello. Also, chat, I am, as some of you already know, because I was hanging out with offline chat for a bit today, some of you may know, I am zooted. I'm pretty good. I took a weed gummy a while ago. And, I'm doing alright. How are you doing, folks? How we doing, everybody? I hope to one day get zooted for stream. I don't know. I don't know if it's as fun for you guys when I'm zooted. Need to go to the store and get some fresh edibles? Hell yeah, you do. You beat Commander Niall in Elden Ring? Yo, it's a Roro. That's hard to do. Congratulations. How are you doing, KBS? All right. What is... I should probably tweet out that this is happening, huh? It's Aurora. Why are you crying? It was tough. Had some drama, but things are improving. Well, I hope they continue to improve. Hello, Fox of Fate, and correct. Now, folks, recently, you may or may have not... Oh, I put down my camera and it started taking pictures automatically. It was freaking me out. You may or may not remember that we started a lot of content over like the last week that we just didn't finish. Figure we might go through that content and finish it up, huh? What do you guys say? What do you guys think about that? I believe we have a few half segments that we haven't done yet. How would you feel about that? Let's do it. Hell yeah. And folks, if you get through all of those segments, I believe there might be like 3 or 4. If we get through all of them, we might have something special at the end waiting for us. I'm just gonna put this little mysterious number on screen here for you guys. Yeah. Jackin' freakin'. There we go. And boom. subs.gg subs to I should, you know what, well, fuck it, r.gg. Surprise! Entrama. Riverboat.gg subs. Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, I don't know what will happen when you guys hit 10. Maybe nothing. It's possible nothing will happen, but I don't know. Let's get through these segments, huh? Let's see. We had the oh god, I forgot there was that segment too. All right. Let's finish up the Tim Pool podcast with Emma Vigeland. Serving a little hot librarian today. I mean, you can interpret it that way, yeah. I'm definitely not just full-on goblin mode. You know? Definitely not that. All transphobia ends forever at 10 subs. I wish. But you know, by throwing money at riverboat.gg, you do make the world less transphobic. Hey, Sweet Myths Music, how you doing? Actually, before we get to the Tim Pool show, whatever it's called, I have an idea. Chat, have you guys seen this ukulele bitch? This ukulele apology? I started seeing it and was just like, I can't be bothered to know what this is. Clearly, I didn't have any context for it, and so I was like, well, clearly, I don't care about this. And then apparently, apparently it's real. Like I didn't know it was for a thing. Yo, Paladin!
How about we break the system instead? Also, asterisk 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 Tim Pool. Bawahahahaha. Bawahahaha. Bawahahahaha. Nya ya 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 ya. Testing that. BWA.
And thank you for the 10 gifted subs, Paladin. Fuck yeah, thank you so goddamn much. You just got an X1. I don't know what that means. But maybe we'll find out later. Eyebrow wiggle for dramatic effect. Okay, was this... Here, yeah, here it is. Okay, so I don't know exactly what's going on here, but everyone's talking about it. We covering the ukulele groomer? Well, yeah, when you give her that name, like it kind of lets the cat out of the bag, so to speak. And everything just compacted right into one. Yeah, we're talking about the ukulele groomer. Yeah. So, ladies, germs, and viruses. I don't. Is that anything? No, it's not. Okay, damn it. Anyway, people, there's this YouTuber who's older than I am, you know, in her 30s, and her name is Colleen Ballinger. And apparently Colleen Ballinger has been doing this for years. She has 3 million subscribers. And well, apparently it is now known that she was talking with like 13-year-olds in her community and, you know, grooming them, and apparently sent one her panties. There's a lot of not great stuff that came out. I don't know the exact specifics because honestly I didn't want to take the psychic damage today. But here's her response to it being found out that she was philandering with children. Oh god! Oh no!
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you. Right?
Dude, lady, we've seen the chat logs. You sent a child your panties. Wait, I mean, come on, dude. What? As long as it's entertaining. No, it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. The fact that you're playing a ukulele behind admitting to crimes with children is what is weirdly silly.
You guys having fun? All aboard the toxic gossip train. You're chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation.
Wait, Chad, this is 10 minutes long. Is this a 10-minute long, like, odyssey through how she definitely did not diddle kids? What? Honestly, what this feels like right now is the scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Frank tries to figure out a song about how he didn't molest children. Just real quick. I think I could find the a clip.
I didn't realize it was even a conversation. I always assumed we would be heavily involved.
This is bad. We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
You gotta write a song that says, ooh, I wouldn't do it with anybody younger than my daughter. No little kids, gotta be big, older than my wife, older than my daughter, something like that.
Don't write a song about that.
No. I'm cloudy, I got a headache.
Even the worst people on Earth knew that this is a bad idea. Oh my god. It's so apropos. Holy shit, dude. Everyone has already made this joke. Well, I'm sorry, I'm late to the party. Oh god. Oh fuck, dude. Lady Raycloud, this lady apparently was talking to 13-year-olds in her YouTube community, and then she came out with an apology, and we're 1 minute into the apology, she decided to set it to fucking ukulele music. She acknowledges she acknowledges that her attorney did not advise her to do this. You can't, like, this is literally worse than the It's Always Sunny bit, because holy shit.
Toxic gossip train.
Did not diddle kids.
Before my past, 'cause rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash. But hey, at least you have.
She has 3.3 million subs. So yeah, she has an attorney.
Hi everyone. I've been wanting to come online and talk to you about a few things. Even though my team has strongly advised me to not say what I
legend.
say,
I'm not gonna make it easy on you.
I never said that I couldn't sing.
Come do it yourself, pussy.
I am, and about the facts. So I hope that you'll be willing to listen. Here we go. Many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more of a loser kind of way.
You know, lady, sometimes things can be two things at the same time. I did not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids.
Where I was just trying to be besties with everybody.
Jesus.
It's
dude.
kind of like when you go to like a family gathering, you know, and there's a weird aunt there who keeps coming up to you and going like, "Hey girl, what's the tea?" And you're like, "Ugh." That was me.
You're describing the creepy uncle who gives off diddlin' kid energy. You're just the creepy aunt who gives off diddlin' kid energy now. Goodness.
Me, but in group chats with my fans. It was weird. I've been sharing my life online for over 15 years. I've poured my heart out to you, and because of that I feel like I'm talking to my friends, but in the beginning of my career, I didn't really understand that maybe there should be some boundaries there. There were times
It's not... Look, there should be boundaries between, like, people and their fans, right? But also, there's a pretty clear boundary between adults and children/teenagers, you know? Like, what are you doing? Chatting with 13-year-olds online. What are you doing, lady?
times in the DMs when I would overshare details of my life, which was really weird of me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior and I took accountability.
Did you? Because it seems like you're not taking accountability when your video addressing this is you playing the ukulele with the most passive-aggressive face imaginable.
But that's not very interesting, is it? So let's go on the toxic gossip train. The locomotive's fueled with hateful accusations. The toxic gossip train. Steamroll over someone's reputation. Toxic gossip train. Hop on board but close your eyes, otherwise you'll realize that the train is made of lies, and that person you despise maybe didn't deserve to die, but hey, at least you're having fun.
Man, it really... You know, the fact that your former fans are accusing you of having groomed them, and you're like singing a song about how the worst person you know maybe doesn't deserve to die but should get hit by a train? Like, what? Dude. I did not diddle those kids. I did not fuck my cat.
In all seriousness, I do think it's really important to hold people accountable for their mistakes. We should hope that everyone can learn from their mistakes and grow and change their behavior and be a better person. And this is something that I've always tried to do when I make mistakes, and it's something that I will continue to try to do. What? Oh, you don't care? Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to take accountability.
Just wait.
But that's not the point of your mob mentality, is it? No. Your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise.
Yes, all of my detractors just want their
I feel like
payday.
I can already hear the comments on this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating. Oh, she's a narcissist and a rat. I would never make a mistake like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
Dude.
realize that all of you are perfect, so please criticize me.
I mean, most people haven't talked to underage kids, you know, and sent them their panties, okay? Most people, that's a pretty low bar, you know? Do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids. Yeah.
Bring out the daggers made from your perfect past and stab me repeatedly in my bony little back. I'm sure you're disappointed in my shitty...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I just shit myself in the middle of the office? Just create a giant pool of shit on the floor? Oh, and now you're all looking at me with judgment. You're looking at me with those judging eyes. Well, whom among us hasn't done that, huh? Yeah, I'm sure Greg down by the water cooler has a perfect past life. Never shat an entire pool of feces in the office before. We're all trying to figure out who did this. I don't want to be here. Are you saying you don't want to be here, or you don't want to be in the suit, or you don't want to be anywhere? I don't want to live because you're in the suit. This is almost like and I think you should leave bit. It's a Roro. This should be and I think you should leave bit.
Little song. I know you wanted me to say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna take that route of admitting to lies and rumors that you made up for clout. Hey everybody, I found someone new to harass. She did some things that I do not like in her past. So everybody gather round, 'cause
some things I didn't like. What were those things? Let's not talk about that.
we're about to attack, but not based on facts. Oh no. Your loaded lethal weapon is your fingers on the keys. You don't need any armor when you can hide behind a screen. So shoot me down quick, hit the click, and bam! My reputation's deceased.
She had a bit in her live show where she brought up the person she deemed the one dressed sluttiest, which of course encouraged her very young fans to come to the shows dressed very sexually. Oh no. Oh no.
I also wanted to take a minute to talk about that girl Miranda sings. You know the one. Yeah, her. She's PG-13. It says that on my website, and it's always been that way. And that's why you won't find my videos on the YouTube Kids app. Anyway,
What? What? Why? This feels like it's the equivalent of her saying, you wouldn't find me on the child's playground anyway. Like, what? What? I'm just not allowed within 1,000 feet of a school. What? Wait, what? What? God damn, dude.
I didn't realize it was my responsibility to decide what was appropriate for every kid to see. I've always relied on parents to decide if they're comfortable with their families watching my YouTube videos or coming to my live shows. Now, have I made some jokes in poor taste? Yes. Have I made lots of dumb mistakes? Yes. Am I sad that
Again, being this vague in the context of like her grooming children is very not good. It's really your parents' fault if I groomed you.
there are some fans who feel betrayed? Yes. But was my intention to manipulate? No. It doesn't really matter what my intention
Yeah, it doesn't
was,
really
'cause
matter.
it seems as though everyone's already decided on that.
No one cares about your intention. They care about what you did, dipshit. Like, how is this hard to grasp? It doesn't matter what your intention was if what you're doing is bad. Look, I had really good intentions for grooming these children. Oh, okay, well then.
Let me tell you, it's not very fun to have millions of people all over the world call you the most vile, horrendous, disgusting, life-ruining words that a person can be called, in my opinion. It doesn't matter that these things aren't true. Everyone just believes
They were educational.
that you are the type of person who manipulates and abuses children. So I just wanted to say that the only thing I've ever groomed is my 2 Persian cats. I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser who didn't understand I shouldn't respond to fans. And I'm not a predator, even though a lot of you think so, because 5 years ago I made a fart joke.
What? No, apparently there's a YouTuber named Adam McIntyre, who accused her of having an inappropriate relationship with him when he was a minor. So, like, look, we're not talking about a little whoopsie daisy here. Oh, God. Oh. Yes. Apparently, Adam accuses this woman of having an inappropriate relationship with him when he was 15 and she was 31. Oops. Oops.
So, even though I know this video won't change anyone's mind about me, I still felt it was important to come on here and defend myself a little and take accountability.
Oh, God. In the new recent allegations, the accuser, someone named Cody Tyler Dahl, exposed a Twitter group chat between Colleen and her closest fans titled Colleenie's Weenies Group Chat. Yeah, questioning members about their virginity, favorite sex positions. Cool. Yeah. Oh God. Apparently there's also been an instance where she asked a 9-year-old to reach into her pants for a snack from a bag of cheese balls she would stuff in them while on stage, and she also slut-shamed a 14-year-old over her outfit. What the hell? What the hell, dude?
And I also wanted to say that to anyone out there who has ever supported me in any capacity, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. For what it's worth, I never had any bad intentions. But I do feel like shit.
Hey, Metal Kitty Mom. How is this not over yet? She literally sent her panties to her used panties to a 13-year-old boy. Goddamn.
Toxic gossip train, you're chugging down the tracks of misinformation. Toxic gossip train, you got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train, you tied me to the tracks and harassed me for my past. Rumors look like facts when you don't mind the gaps. I won't survive in the crash, but hey, I hope you had some fun.
You said You admitted to sending a 13-year-old your bra and panties. What are you talking? Why? How are you trying to take the high ground on this? Yeah, she's sharing a little bit of herself with us.
Actually, you know, I feel like maybe I should let you guys know something. It seems like maybe you're confused about something. I don't know. Let me try to help. Sometimes people make a mistake and it doesn't make them a horrible person. Whoa. Sometimes people can make a mistake and they're still a good person. Crazy, I know. Sometimes people can make a mistake and you don't have to take that mistake. Oh no. And twist it up and grind it and add some lies to it.
Man, it seems really, you're being real vague about what happened here, okay?
And pulverize it and stab it with knives and ruin a life and oh no. Sometimes
Yeah, very
people
knifey thought.
make a-
This is a YouTuber apologizing and trying not to fully admit to grooming like 13-year-olds in her audience. This is and she decided that she would do that in the form of a song. I'm not zooted enough for this. I am.
A mistake, it doesn't mean you gotta send them.
Hey, Mint
Oh,
Kuro.
no.
How you doing?
Sometimes people
We've
can
been
make
missing you.
a mistake and you can kindly let them know and help them to grow.
Do not diddle kids! Definitely do not diddle kids!
I didn't realize it was even a conversation. I always assumed we would be
I
heavily involved.
can't.
This is bad.
Just every time.
We gotta definitely write a song about how
I'm
we
doing
do
it
not
again.
diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
You gotta write a song that says, ooh, I wouldn't do it with anybody younger than my daughter. No little kids, gotta be big, older than my wife, older than my daughter, something like that.
Don't write a song about that.
No, I'm cloudy. I got a headache.
Sometimes people make mistakes simply because
This is so terrible.
they made a mistake. And that mistake doesn't make them a terrible human. It just makes them a human.
Yeah, Mint Kuro, I hope she tries to use that in court.
But what do I know? Fuck me, right?
Okay. I feel like her lawyers blew their brains out after seeing this. Like, no, wait, we can't win this now. Just walk out the window. What did I just walk into? Absolute disaster. I feel I'm owed an apology for that apology. This video has 3.6 million views and it came out yesterday. Damn. How we doing, folks? Also, 10 subs until we turn that X1 into perhaps an X2. Oh no! Oh, beyond safe words. There's more. We get a sequel from Adam McIntyre.
Hey, it seems this is the only way she'll listen. So, I thought I'd give it a go.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break.
I'm glad you're able to look at this as a break. because you've made my life hell for 3 years.
So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true.
Literally,
Does this go? Oh God, I can't listen to ukuleles. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're not listening to 23 minutes of like somewhat competent ukulele and not ukulele. Nice comeback though. Yeah, I like the gumption there, you know? Anyway, that lady's bad. She should feel bad. And that's about it. Don't be transphobic, and instead donate to riverboat.gg today. There we go. The subs and donos appreciated, because then I won't die of destitution because of things like rent that is due in 2 days. Do not diddle, kids. Yeah. Playing a ukulele or any other instruments, musical instruments, cultural appropriation. Yeah, but it can both be cultural appropriation and also okay. That is possible. You might like this. If I don't, you'll be banned forever.
Whatever he did to this.
I can't play Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim. I can't do that. That's too famous. Do. And now, we return to the trenches of Tim Pool versus Emma Vigeland.
Have
well, that's a different question.
Because we need filibuster reform. So
I think
I'm not really
that,
interested in process. I'm interested in outcomes as we get back to, again, the differences that we clearly have here. I don't really care who imposes the right to abortion in this country. I just care that we have a right to abortion in this country, and we don't.
Well, right.
anymore.
Yeah, I think at first when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I thought that it was probably good it would go to legislation because the Supreme Court arbitrarily setting law is probably dangerous. But however, since then, I've looked at it and said, it's a 14th Amendment question, the right to life. And, you know, looking back on that now and understanding Roe v. Wade actually was a pretty good decision. I think now at this point, you'd need some kind of codification. I don't know how the Supreme Court's going to go back on it, but that's a political conversation, not a personal perspective on abortion. So my view is pre-viability, it's individual discretion. Post-viability, it's probably going to require some kind of, depending on the circumstances.
Where do you draw the line of viability?
Can the baby survive on its own?
Okay. Well, 90% of abortions happen in the first trimester, which is the first 12 weeks.
Yeah.
99% happen in the first 20 weeks. The rest that happen, the 1% that you're talking about, which is overrepresented constantly for fear-mongering purposes, is the 1% that happen when the life of the mother is in danger or there's a issue with the fetus.
No,
no
very
question.
So
nice.
there's no need to
See a
parse
Beyonce
and draw
words.
arbitrary lines, because what that does is it essentially, especially with rape and incest exemptions, which you speak about, it makes it seem like...
I'm not in favor of incest exemptions.
Okay, the one that we spoke about earlier, okay? I'm not even speaking about your specific opinion about this. I'm talking generally about the notions of abortion. You can't have rape and incest exempt.
Man, dude, he really jumped to that incest exemption really fast. Like that was a really, he had that one prepared. Okay, he's like, look, I don't want those incestors to be able to abort their babies. What did Tim Pool just say? He said he didn't want an exemption for incest. Here, we'll
Decision. I think now at this point, you'd need some kind of codification. I don't know how the Supreme Court's going to go back on it, but that's a political conversation, not a personal perspective on abortion. So my view is pre-viability, it's individual discretion. Post-viability, it's probably going to require some kind of, depending on the circumstances.
Where do you draw the line of viability?
Can the baby survive on its own?
Okay. Well, 90% of abortions happen in the first trimester, which is the first 12 weeks.
Yeah.
99% happen in the first 20 weeks. The rest that happen, the 1% that you're talking about, which is overrepresented constantly for fear-mongering purposes, is the 1% that happen when the life of the mother is in danger or there's a issue with the fetus.
Well, there's no question.
So there's no need to parse and draw arbitrary lines, because what that does is it essentially, especially with rape and incest exemptions, which you speak about, it makes it seem like...
I'm not in favor of incest exemptions.
Okay, the one that we spoke about earlier.
Nah, I'm not in favor of incest exemptions. You know what? I feel like Tim Pool's audience deserves to have to listen to Tim Pool talk for an hour about why he thinks people who are victims of incest should be forced to carry their babies.
Okay, I'm not even speaking about
Goddamn.
your specific opinion about this. I'm talking generally about the notions of abortion. You can't have rape and incest exemptions because it takes so long to prove those cases that it would completely nullify the need for an abortion, because as the pregnancy is going along, you would be unable to perform the abortion in the time that it takes to prove that kind of stuff. So when that stuff is put into legislation, what it does is it waters down and makes the public seem like, oh, we're not so barbaric. That's why we should not be intervening in what doctors and patients are doing. I want people to be empowered over their own health care. Same thing with trans kids.
So you disagree with Roe v.
Same
Wade
thing
in
with
that
abortion. Sorry?
Do you disagree with Roe v. Wade in that regard?
Well, no. I want there to be an abortion.
Would you prefer Roe v. Wade stood?
Of course.
So then you would be against abortion after a certain amount of time.
I mean, Roe v. Wade essentially created the viability standard, right?
So then you have a 14th Amendment question, whereas
no,
you would need some kind of government intervention post viability.
Yeah, I believe that doctors should be able to make these determinations, and it should not be. We should have a right to an abortion broadly, and doctors can make a decision.
To be clear,
real quick, I think you're in favor of the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
No, I'm not, because I would never want to overturn something to go backwards and then bring it up to the legislature where we have crazies and Republican nut jobs in the Senate, and there's a filibuster that doesn't provide us with the ability to codify it.
Because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, you now have states like Colorado removing restrictions.
No. This isn't accurate. So Roe versus Wade protected at a constitutional level up to the second trimester for elective abortions, and then afterwards it was up to the states. So like
so it's even. It's
so like Colorado could have extended this prior to. In fact, Andrew Cuomo did this before. So like just to clarify that.
Okay, never mind.
Tim so much wants to go past this.
Because I remember reading what was the guy's name? He wrote about 14th Amendment kicks in upon viability. And then you have a constitutional right to life and all of these things, and there's questions around that.
Colorado may have passed that law in response to Roe versus Wade, but they weren't prohibited from doing so before. It's because Roe versus Wade says at this point the states have no issue. It's a constitutional issue.
You'll never be back again.
Trimester, which is why Roe versus Wade constitutionally is a ridiculous decision. They're like, it's a states' rights issue because the Constitution obviously delegates the trimesters in the 57th Amendment somewhere.
And again, Tim, like the reality is I don't you've been perfectly nice to me here. I don't really care about you personally. I care when you say things that are harmful and wrong, like the hoax statement about
that wasn't wrong. That was an opinion.
It was wrong. It was completely factually inaccurate.
It's an opinion, but it was right though. I don't think Tim Pool knows what an opinion and a fact are, Chad.
Accurate.
It's not factually accurate.
You called it a hoax because you know that your audience is going to feed into it, and then you parse it later so you have plausible deniability about it.
But specifically what I said was, and we talk about it in depth. I think the issue is just you don't watch the show. To be fair, I don't watch Majority Report. But if like I'm not gonna come out here and be like, you said this one time, this one thing. I've not watched the show, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But I said, the idea that you would take a tragic circumstance like this and then create a political story, put it out to the super PACs to try and change laws, that's a hoax.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. How about the fact that you called the
grooming event
shooter in the neo-Nazi Texas shooter who watched your program, you called that a false flag?
Because you don't even know anything about that story.
I do.
It was four clips of the episode, and you can see in the images he wasn't even subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, but he watched your show.
No,
he didn't. He watched one guy.
Yeah, have you ever went to those time codes? He was highlighting specific, and I won't name the guest from the guest.
But
like,
he
I've
did
seen
watch
that.
your show.
Like this is
So
like
you're saying
a
he watched an
nasty
episode?
smear.
Sure, but do you understand
come
why?
on.
And he posted
That
about
one.
it.
Who was that one guy who
why
watched
do you
Majority
think-
Report and then commented on what Sam did?
Why do you think that? But he no, this was a neo-Nazi. Why do you think your content appeals to neo-Nazis?
Are you kidding me right now?
No, I'm just wondering why you think that.
He's
I'm
so
gonna do
fucking
something I don't
mad.
normally do, but that
He's
was an
so
egregious
fucking
over the
mad.
line statement where I don't know if you are intentionally trying to just
Oh, hey Jay Xander. Emma just pushed his button so good. He's maulding right now, chat.
generate clips that are nonsensical, or you're just really that stupid.
Oh man.
The idea that because
I was just like, oh man, I really hit a button there.
Nazi watched your show appeals to Nazis, is like, look, if you want to have a real conversation, we have a real conversation. If you want to come up here and do exactly what the majority, you want to do what the Majority Report does, and exactly why Sam isn't welcome on my and many other shows, feel free to do it, and I'm willing to have you on here. Did you know that like, I don't know about you specifically, but this is exactly why people don't like your show. Okay.
I think people like our show.
Yeah, maybe ask why some of these higher profile personalities and networks won't have Sam on anymore. And he can
They're afraid of
cry.
him.
Oh, they're afraid of him. How about it's because you just claimed that my show appeals to Nazis, which it
He
clearly
watched your
doesn't.
show.
Because this show is predominantly like moderate libertarian leaning types.
No, you
but you
say
don't even
that,
watch
and
it.
that you.
Yes. I'm familiar with those. In my early days of streaming, I met many moderate conservatives who would come on to debate me. I know exactly the kind you mean, Tim. Exactly the kind.
Say that because you're trying to draw a line and make the really far right people that watch your show feel like their positions are a little bit more close to the mainstream than they actually are.
Okay, let's say for
So you called it a false flag, and then when you were proven wrong the next day,
Called
you
what a
said you
false
thought
flag?
it was funny.
Called what a false flag?
You called the claims that the neo-Nazi shooter watched your show a false flag.
I don't know if I said that. That sounds awfully specific.
I don't have the exact quote in front of me, Tim. But
So you
that
don't know
was-
what I said? Where did
yes,
you hear
I do.
that?
I listened to you.
Did you say
he's
something
so
like it sounds like
mad,
I said it sounds like a psyop to have this profile appear one day after the shooting, where it's got like a bunch of screenshots on it or something?
Hey, Solazar.
Sure.
It really does sound to me like someone told you to say things and you don't know what you're referencing.
I'm not shocked that that is the only way that you're going to try to react to this.
Oh god. Oh dude. Yo, Emma is like Tim Pool's kryptonite. She's cool as a cucumber, dog. Just she had already, like, you know, this is like that scene in one of those movies where like or one of those anime. How can you harm me? You're already dead. I foresaw everything you would do. You know, like that's it. That's Emma right now.
To react to what? Like, okay, no, this is fairly obvious. So I'm willing to bet Sam was like, "Hey, ask him about this and say these exact
No, I
things."
came up with. I mean,
Come up with original thoughts.
Yo, the conspiracy brains scrabbling in real time, dude. Tim Pool can't possibly conceive of a way in which Emma is this smart and like irritating to him. So of course Sam is like feeding her lines. Where's the wire, Emma? Where's the wire?
Wait,
it is my original thought.
So
No, it isn't.
It's
some guy posts a screenshot of one episode of a show he's not subscribed to, and you think that's an attack vector for something political, but it's a personal snipe that has no bearing on any of the arguments we've made the entire show.
I disagree.
Yes.
You disagree with what? With what? Elaborate.
I disagree that it has no
So
bearing
mad.
on what you've said throughout your entire show.
Like what? What did I say?
This is
Come
what,
on,
this was the claim
Let's
that you
hear
made.
it. Let's hear it.
I believe that your program appeals to a right-wing audience, And there's a reason that the neo-Nazi shooter watched your program.
And how do you know he watched the program?
Because he posted about it.
What did he post?
Tim.
What did he post?
He posted parts of an interview that you did.
No, he didn't. You're wrong.
He had 4 screenshots on his phone from
You
the
don't
same
even know what
episode.
you're talking about, and all you can do is laugh and say,
no, it's because you get
some
specific
guy,
to obscure
some
the fact.
guy
You called it
posted
a
one thing one time, and that's the only argument you have.
Did you go to the time codes that were in that episode? Because I did. I ran this down, and one of them was a clip of Elijah Schaffer, and like weirdly for this like neo-Nazi Hispanic shooter, it's Elijah saying that we shouldn't be emphasizing race specifically. No, he's a neo-Nazi Hispanic shooter.
Right, but Tim called it a false flag and then corrected himself the next day and then said he thought it was funny after a mass shooting.
I think that
people
someone
were calling
told you
him...
to say this, and you don't actually know what you're talking about.
I think that it's not shocking that you think that based on my gender.
Okay, you're not saying anything.
But like I screen grab because I do YouTube clips, so I will screen grab a time code so I know where to go.
I think it's not shocking that you think that based on my gender.
Later. So like when I saw that, I knew, or I had a feeling, because obviously he's dead. So, or was he captured or was he killed?
I think he was killed.
Yeah, so he's dead. So he can't tell us. But like I think people screenshot, because this is why I do it, and you can find them in my phone, moments in things so that they can go back and reference that clip. And I ran down both of those time codes. Neither
look,
one.
I get it, but look, man, this is the Majority Report.
It is a nasty smear. Like you're doing it on purpose.
And it's not a political statement. It's not a political argument.
You're like, he watched an episode of her show. I'm sorry, of his show. Like that's.
There was that one guy who posted Sam Cedar a whole bunch. Remember the guy who killed all those people at the bar in Ohio?
I don't remember that case specifically.
Why did that guy?
I think Tim is making that up, chat. I pay attention to this stuff pretty closely. I'm pretty sure if some guy, before shooting up a place, posted about the Majority Report, we'd have all heard about that, okay?
Guy watched Sam Cedar so much.
Why did Gavin...
Why do you guys appeal to mass shooters? Why do mass shooters
There's a
talk about
difference.
Sam Cedar being so inspirational to them?
Why did Gavin Long...
Why is Emma Vigeland inspiring mass shooters?
Dude.
Why did Gavin Long...
Why are you okay with porn being shown to children? Look, if you want to play a game of nonsense statements for political brownie points, feel free to do so. But I'll say it again.
Tim, I didn't mean to upset you.
This is exactly why Sam is not welcome on my show. But it's not something that I just one day was like, you know what? No, it's because I had serious conversations with networks and other high-profile individuals, and I love.
Can you name the high-profile individuals?
That's their business. But I absolutely love how the response is, they're scared of Sam. It's like, no, they despise him. He's a bad faith actor who does exactly what you just did. We're having a conversation about scientific research, data, my position on what I like about DeSantis, and then you go, your show's for neo-Nazis. It's like, okay, dude, are you stupid?
I'm just stating facts.
Have you okay, this is like lowbrow. This is why you guys have 170 Dave Rubin videos. Do you think the average person cares about Dave Rubin?
No, I'm
no,
just
but
trying
you
to
guys
combat
get
it.
clicks by doing it.
It's
hey,
fun.
how about you guys run a video about how Tim Pool got into an argument with a pro-lifer about how he's in favor of pro-choice policy? You didn't run that, did you? Because you guys are grifters. This is what you do. I can invite you on for a real conversation, and what do? Your show's for neo-Nazis. This is why you guys don't get invited places, because you're not having real conversations.
I don't really care about getting invited places.
Yeah, right. So go live in your grifter echo chamber where you guys can play songs with bad audio and then say, whoopsie.
I'm sorry that audio thing really upset you.
Wait, have you ever covered
what upsets
the Gavin...
me is when I talk about Ron DeSantis making fake things to trick people, and that's what you guys do. It's kind of like, how about that?
We do AI images?
When you run audio that sounds bad to make a nonsensical video where you're like, Tim Pool sounds like Nickelback. It's like what you're doing is just trying to generate rage drama. It is internet blood sports level garbage. It doesn't answer any questions about the questions of pro-life and pro-choice, progressive tax policy. It doesn't answer questions about how we're going to protect or we're going to help kids. All it does is drum up support from your base so they can hoot and holler and give you clicks. Then you complain, we can't get any advertisers. Maybe it's because you make lowbrow drama garbage.
No, I mean, the first hour of our program is the one that's free.
For neo-Nazis, you mean? The one where that mass shooter watched Majority Report? Is that what you're talking about?
The first hour of our program will usually
that guy's
have
name?
Social Security and Medicare
I can't remember that
like
guy's name.
kind of discussions, or we'll essentially talk to an expert on, say, policy in Latin America, that kind of thing. The stuff that's behind the paywall and then gets clipped is stuff where we respond to right-wingers. We want to get into the...
He got really mad when I said that he got kicked off of Bob's Burgers.
Oh, no, that's funny. He was joking, right? He was being sarcastic.
I didn't watch the clip. I just know that.
Yeah, he was hilarious. He first of all, the creator is one of his best friends. Like,
I don't know. Sam came to me and said he was upset that they kicked him up. They were removing his role from the show.
I think he was joking.
But used to be at TYT, and Gavin Long, who was the Baton Rouge shooter, watched, reposted, and did reactions to Young Turks videos. A lot of them were straight misinformation. There was one in particular where they were going after a cop who slammed a woman, which, by the way, the cop acted inappropriately, but they wildly speculated that it was a black woman. It turned out to be a white woman. And there was a call in the video of like, what do you do if you see a pregnant black woman being assaulted by a cop? Gavin Long said he's going to step up. You can watch these videos; they're available online. And he shot 4 cops.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't my comment.
I didn't say. No, hold on. I didn't say it was your commentary, but you're saying screenshots on this guy's phone. Big problem. I got to bring it up right here. But have you ever covered at all what inspired Gavin Long?
Because
he killed 4 police officers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. That wasn't my coverage, so I don't know. I was based in
What
New
about
York.
the guy in Dallas? Remember him?
That was a different shooting.
Sam, I'm sorry.
I was based in, sir. I was based in an entirely different city.
I really didn't mean to trigger you. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just curious where your standards are. Like, have you gone after the hosts on the Young Turks for that one?
Clip farming. Is that what you're doing?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, your demeanor changes before the show to all of a sudden now you're going, what do you mean? I'm so sorry I triggered you. Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean,
I get it. You guys are going to make clips. You guys are lowbrow grifter drama garbage.
I'm trying to
You want
just
to talk about
speak
the
in a
merits of
calming
policy?
tone, so maybe that it calms you down a little bit.
You want to talk about policy, or do you want to just...
I'm trying to talk in a calming voice. Oh God, she just keeps pressing that button. This is glorious.
Insult people.
I would love to talk about policy.
So continue, Sean.
Yeah. So if screenshots, which are of clips that weren't even him speaking, is Tim Pool inspiring the shooter, then how come you've like never done this commentary at a place you used to work at of direct inspiration? Like he saw a clip, cuts to himself saying, "I'm gonna step up because I'm the real one."
I've never heard of this. So
that's interesting that you never heard of that.
Well, so it happened. Why do you think it is that your former program appealed to mass shooters so much?
I cover right-wingers, and I know that right-wing terrorism in this country dwarfs any kind of left-wing terrorism by like a 9-to-1 figure.
What does that do
I
with
might
what I
be
just asked?
underestimating. Because I cover the real threat in this country, which is right-wing terrorism.
Sure, so I'll ask again, I guess. Like, why do you think it is this mass shooter was inspired by your former program?
I would have to look into it to make a smarter
Do you feel
comment
bad
on
that he
it.
was inspired directly and admitted he was?
He's so mad.
Sure. I mean, it's not...
Do you take responsibility?
It wasn't even my program. I worked there, but yeah.
So you were providing material support. Wow.
I don't know if she was there at the time.
No,
to
look,
be fair to you,
I don't think I was.
But I will say, it is interesting.
Does actual Justice Warrior not know that he's there to be like Tim's backup to gang up on Emma? I don't think he got the assignment yet.
Because the Young Turks did cover this shooting. And even though, again, reacted specifically to Young Turks videos covering the cops very poorly, propaganda inspired him to commit this violence, in my opinion.
If you want to talk about the Young Turks, you should talk to them.
I would love to at some point in my life. But so he does this, but the Young Turks coverage of it called him just a sovereign citizen. So this would be categorized as that right-wing terrorism, even though he was inspired by a left-wing news organization, specifically left-wing figures.
I'll do a semi-segue, and I'll talk about, what irks me is like the Burisma scandal, for instance. Any kind of reasonable assessment over the story pre-Hunter Biden anything is pretty shocking. But it's not something you see in any of these quote-unquote left-wing media sources for like no reason. I think the best example is it is so omitted from the narrative that when we had Hunter Avalon on the show, he didn't even believe that Joe Biden admitted to engaging in the quid pro quo, and so I played the video for him. So what's troublesome is,
what are you talking about?
He's talking about the fire the prosecutor.
Yeah, none of this. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Tim? This is the biggest pivot I've ever seen in my life.
Clip from Joe Biden. Specifically,
right. But I'm not surprised you're not familiar with it, right? It doesn't exist in the left's echo chamber.
Well, it's funny you call it the leftist echo chamber. I mean, I am a consumer of leftist news sources, but also I read right-wing ones just to check in on it. Centrist news organizations. I think this is a very, very specific echo chamber that I can't speak to.
The
Burisma thing, I look, I'm not going to defend Joe Biden. I mean, I'm a leftist. I'm to the left of Joe Biden. But this story, I mean, it's pretty much a nothing burger. The Durham investigation essentially had, or not the Durham, sorry, I misspoke. The investigation being done in the House right now is like looking into the whistleblower who's suspiciously gone missing, and they have an FBI tip for 17 different calls between Hunter Biden and this oligarch.
That's weird.
It's all completely gobbledygook made up. But at the same time,
why are you defending Joe Biden like that?
No,
like, why not just say, yeah, sure,
well,
screw that guy.
I'd love to criticize him on things that I think are actually real, like the fact that he's continued Trump's border policy and ramped it up, honestly, with Title 42, where he did sunset that because it was a part of the emergency and during COVID, but he's largely continued militarism around the border.
If Trump is the nominee, do you think he'll win?
No, I don't, but I think he will be the nominee.
So wouldn't you rather have, say, Bernie Sanders as the candidate for the Democrats?
Of course.
So isn't it in your interest then to say, by all means, investigate Joe Biden? If he's corrupt, get rid of him.
Well, I don't think, sure, you can do an investigation. Everything that's come out so far seems like it's bullshit, but I would rather criticize him on things I find more substantive.
Hey, BCC
so
TV.
I can tell you definitively and factually, it's not BS. I mean, certainly there are political elements of it. But, I mean, Joe Biden, this is what I was talking about with Hunter Evelyn. Joe Biden's literally on camera saying that he threatened to withhold congressionally approved loan guarantees unless they fired Victor Shokin. Victor Shokin signed a sworn affidavit saying this was intentionally to protect Burisma from
this was stated U.S. policy to fire Shokin. This was not a quid pro quo outside of
Joe
the United
Biden
States.
said if you don't fire the prosecutor, you're not getting the loan guarantees. That is illegal.
Okay.
The vice president has not the authority to withhold loan guarantees from a foreign nation that have been approved by Congress.
It was not because they were investigating Burisma. It was because of European policy.
Well, intent is immaterial.
But you're claiming it's a quid pro quo.
It is a quid pro quo for Joe Biden to literally say on camera, which he did, fire the prosecutor or you're not getting the loans.
No, it's not.
It's actually
this is weird. No, defending him. I mean, it is.
He might. So the president might have the discretion to not do that, and Obama might have said,
"Well, they impeached Trump for the same thing.
You represent me in that regard." So it's illegal for him to do that for the investigation. But like you guys are off into like a different point. The point you were making originally was that Hunter had never seen this clip, but you've seen the clip that they're referencing, right? Because he was making an echo chamber point.
I've read about it, but I read.
Do you know
that's very interesting because that clip was plastered all over.
No,
are you familiar with Gazprom?
I mostly my workflow is I read like 50 pages of news before the show every day.
Look, honest question, like, are you familiar with Gazprom?
No.
Are you familiar with the Qatar-Turkey pipeline?
The
Qatar-Turkey pipeline.
Oh yeah.
You are?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Okay. Are you familiar with like U.S. Intelligence Policy 2009 Syria and how this relates to Gazprom and Burisma and all this stuff?
Vaguely.
I don't understand how, if you have an understanding of that, you would just be like, all of that's true, but the Joe Biden stuff's not true, because it doesn't make any sense as to why you would defend Joe Biden in that way.
I just think the investigation's largely BS. I'm not defending Joe Biden.
No, but I mean, like,
look into the investigation. If they want to do some sort of special counsel investigation outside of the political process, where it's not a Republican witch hunt, I'm all for that.
But here's what I'm trying to understand. You think that the quid pro quo is not illegal. You think
it's not. It was stated European policy by the government, and you're connecting it and saying it's a quid pro quo based on a variety of different assumptions that have not been able to be proven yet in the midst of the investigation in the House.
This I can't understand, right? When Donald Trump called Ukraine, it was called a quid pro quo. Whether it was U.S. policy or not. It was. The president sets the policy. So if the president calls Ukraine and says, I got this video of Joe Biden, I'd like someone to look into it, he's impeached under a quid pro quo, right? Whether it is or isn't.
Because he was withholding aid to Ukraine.
Hey, just like Joe Biden tried to do, right?
This was stated U.S. policy at the time.
And the president sets U.S. policy, right?
If it's quid pro quo, what was he getting in return?
Joe Biden?
Yes.
He said fire the prosecutor. The prosecutor had 12
presumably it would be the prosecutor that was investigating Burisma, but I do
What was Biden getting in return?
Right, okay, so I'll tell you. First, the Victor Shokin had about a dozen plus open investigations into Mykola Zlochevsky, the founder of Burisma, and I believe into Burisma as an ancillary factor.
But I just want to say real quick, impeachment doesn't necessarily...
And Shokin was not investigating Burisma.
He was.
But
he was not.
Yep, okay, dude, look, if you don't know about this, just don't say no.
Dude.
I can tell you definitively, he was. It was a huge issue. There are a dozen plus investigations open into Victor Michael Zlochevsky.
You're misrepresenting it.
Zlochevsky fled the country. Zlochevsky fled Ukraine amid these investigations. Upon Shokin's firing, returned to Ukraine. After Donald Trump then says, "I want this looked into," Zlochevsky flees again.
Okay, but what was the quid pro quo? What was Biden getting in return?
They presumably they would stop investigating Burisma, which is where his son worked.
That's not it. The quid pro quo is fire the prosecutor, or I will withhold aid. Okay, you can say it was.
That's not proven.
But she's asking. No. He did say that, but she's saying it's not proven that he did that for personal gain. She's saying,
it doesn't matter.
Where's the benefit for Biden?
But yes, but that's not illegal.
Can I clarify a legal point
Trump's
real quick?
Impeachment was not illegal either because what was his?
That's the exact point I want to clarify. Impeachment is not actually a real legitimate criminal process. It is a political process.
I understand that.
So like him being impeached for this doesn't actually say anything to the legality.
Trump was not following United States policy. Biden was.
He sets the policy. He's the president.
Congress does.
No, they don't.
We have separations of powers.
The president
in this country.
sets policy.
Not
for the executive branch. Congress isn't the one making calls to foreign diplomats.
Not for aid.
No, they allocate the aid, but he's able to pull it under certain circumstances.
It's not just that. Foreign policy is set by the president. Wars are declared by Congress.
Huge portion of it.
Right. Okay, nothing's absolute.
Yeah.
But the idea that we would elect a president to negotiate on our interests when it comes to the issues of military, and then we would be like, but in this one instance, he doesn't have the authority. What do you mean? He's the one who sets the policy.
No, he has the authority.
It was the argument is that Joe Biden wasn't engaging in a quid pro quo because it was a policy of our administration. Yeah, Obama had a policy.
A quid pro quo is when you get something personally in return.
So something for something is what it means.
Right, but the nature of the investigation that they're looking into is they're trying to say that there was a bribe via Hunter Biden, and there has been
Joe and Hunter.
Right, but there has been no actual evidence on that front.
Well, I'm not super concerned about what they may be investigating currently. Right now, I'm talking about it is the whole point of this was I can't believe we're even arguing it right now.
But
I don't understand why you, who's someone who has every reason to oppose Joe Biden, are like, he said it on camera, but you know what? It's fine. I don't get it. Like, just be like, yeah, sure, fine, I guess.
But she's making a very specific point that for it to be a quid pro quo, you have to explain how Biden benefited from this. So, like, it's not necessarily that she's disagreeing with what you're saying, although she's saying it's part of policy, but she's saying you have to actually, to complete this, like, basically you're 2/3 of the way there, that final third is how he benefited.
Biden was not in opposition to congressional policy,
but that's what she's
Trump was.
talking about.
I'm talking about Joe Biden threatening to withhold loan guarantees goes against... It's not legal.
But you're talking past each other because she's saying like there's a reason for that and it's not corrupt related.
But that has nothing to do with what I'm saying is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I'm just clarifying where you guys are miscommunicating.
Here, this is where I'll say I have differences with Joe Biden. First of all, I can't even like understand why he hasn't or didn't, when he had a House and a Senate that was Democratic, push for any kind of single payer or socialized healthcare. I wish that was happening. He's certainly to the right of me on the border. The fact that he broke the rail strike, that's something that I'm deeply in opposition to, and I'm happy to discuss those kinds of things with you. But like,
I don't really want to get into the Burisma thing. It came up as like an example of I don't understand why like there's like a tribal need to defend Joe Biden.
It was it's not tribal. It was U.S. policy to get rid of corruption in Ukraine. Shokin was not investigating Burisma. Biden was in concert. He was continuing U.S. policy. Trump was in opposition to it. That is the difference in the hypocrisy that you're trying to highlight here.
True.
You guys are gonna go in circles on this, but
I have to pull it up. But like, because we covered this a long time ago, I didn't want to do the whole Burisma thing. But my point was simply that like, having covered this to such extent, it is confusing to me the need to defend the Bidens on this one. I just
criticized Biden in a bunch of different
But I don't
ways.
understand why you're saying there was no investigation. Like, you're just making that up.
They're in the middle of an investigation.
No. Michael Zlochevsky had 12 to 14 open investigations. And Shokin had a dozen plus investigations into Zlochevsky and Burisma.
Okay.
But I don't know why you're like, no, that's not true. Or like, what? I don't know. It's been a couple of years since we covered this. I'll the article pulled up, to be fair. But yeah, they did. Like, that's not even a question of the facts.
Okay.
The question is whether or not like they wanted someone else to do it.
I feel I kind of delineated why it's different pretty succinctly. Trump was in violation of U.S. policy set by Congress. Biden was not. That is the difference that we're laying out here. And you have been unable to establish how Biden benefits in a quid pro quo from this in any way.
Well, currently the argument is that, his son was on the board of Burisma. I mean, so that one's kind of obvious, as was a CIA director.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
So as a counterterrorism director of the CIA on the board of this company, and the so-called left is like, but it's fine. Like, what is going on?
No.
I don't understand how the
here,
left
Tim,
became
Tim.
pro-war, pro-mandate, pro-big pharma. like government should be able to give multi-billion-dollar
Tim, I'm
no
against
big
government
contracts
corruption. The idea that these
vaccine mandates, like, I don't fuck-
that these fail sons. What about vaccine mandates?
I said, I don't understand how the left became pro-big pharma, pro
It's
no
not
bid,
pro-big
no.
pharma. I'm pro-public health.
So you're in favor of no bid, no liability contracts for massive multinational pharmaceuticals.
No, I was literally just said earlier in the program that I wanted the state to own it since we gave our money to that and created life-saving vaccines with taxpayer money.
Right. So who gets the money?
The big pharma did. It's messed up. Yeah.
Right.
We should have socialized healthcare in this country and be manufacturing it ourselves.
Even if the patents were released to the public, they still gave the billion-dollar production contracts to big pharma.
But that is what we live in, unfortunately, right now. And we were in the middle of a global pandemic, and we needed vaccines immediately.
That's not left.
No, it is. It certainly is. I believe that in the immediate, that is
hyper-centralized.
Excuse me?
Hyper-centralized funding of massive multinational pharmaceuticals is not leftist.
Well, what would be the alternative, Tim, in the midst of a global pandemic?
Decentralized bid contracts with liability.
I literally just said earlier in the program that I was in favor and much closer. First, also, I'm surprised you're saying this because didn't you say that you were more close to Trump on vaccine policy? This is Trump's vaccine policy.
No, you were talking about that.
Okay, I am closer to him than that.
Yeah.
On that. I believe that when we did give investment into these companies, yes, they were going to make some sort of windfall, but then the vaccines themselves should be owned by the public since it was our money that was given into it. That's the practical realities of what we have to deal with today in a for-profit healthcare system. I'm hoping that we transition away from that and that we have socialized healthcare, so none of the things that you're talking about have to happen anymore.
I don't think you need to give no bid, no liability contracts to massive pharmaceuticals to do what needed to be done. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just that the government is crooked.
So you're closer to DeSantis on vaccine policy?
Probably neither. I don't know how it as applies to what we're talking about. I'm saying.
So what's your alternative to producing the vaccine in the rapid way that the Operation Warp Speed did?
Well, there are a lot of questions about whether or not.
Well, I don't really know how to answer that.
Right.
I got to stall for time.
What do you mean?
The vaccines were highly effective.
What does that mean?
Originally at preventing death. Then, of course, there were different variants and disease continued to spread.
No, I'm saying like
but vaccines were immensely effective in preventing death, the mRNA vaccines.
Right.
Not
so
the Johnson
what I mean more so
one.
is like the Operation Warp Speed was predicated upon preventing the spread, which it didn't do. Right?
Sorry?
Operation Warp Speed was predicated upon like.
Yes, it did. It helped prevent the spread.
It didn't.
Yes, it did.
It didn't.
Well, I mean, part of the issue was that in red states there was no ability to actually.
May have prevented death, but I think like wasn't it like
there was no
actually stop
mass
spread?
Mandates were immediately done away with in red states. They basically had no social distancing. That was much more of had much more of an effect on death in this country than like the inefficacy of vaccines. This has been borne out by data after data after data set. And then we have new variations of the vaccines, which have also helped.
Yeah, nothing was going to reduce the spread that much. It was like it was already one of the most contagious viruses, and then it mutated to become more contagious.
Well, it helped with both transmissions and severity. That's a fact. The mRNA vaccines did.
Well, but I don't want to deviate too much. We're talking about
and it slowed spread, particularly with the
big
wild
pharmaceuticals. So my issue would be like, instead of having like 3 big companies, I think it was like 4 big companies, just do it, would be to have it decentralized amongst many different producers who are not centralized. And that can be done. We just have to do it.
Talking like a prize, like, hey, if you develop this vaccine, whoever does it first, then you get the windfall.
Or even like a mandated coordination of production, but not have one company just be like, we're going to give $10 billion to company X. That's insane.
Didn't one of these companies refuse the money up front for fear of future ownership of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, was that Moderna or something like that?
I don't remember which one.
I don't know. Anyway, my point was, there's that meme that Elon Musk made where like the left moves further and further left. I think that the left has actually gone right in a weird way.
How is preventing death in a global pandemic?
Well, like, are you in favor of the war in Ukraine?
It wouldn't be.
I'll rephrase. Do you believe the U.S. should be involved in providing material support to the Ukrainians?
I have been in favor of it. Yes, I do think that there are legitimate concerns about the continuation of doing so without brokering a peace and it becoming some sort of proxy for U.S. like war criminals within the United States. But in terms of like the Russian invasion, I am completely
Tim Pool is very insufferable. Also, welcome.
It's more a question of like, should we have given, what are we at, like 100, 200 billion?
How am I doing this morning? I am toasted. I'm very toasty. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Subs to surprise, chat. Who could say?
I don't know, because there's guarantees which have not been delivered, and it's in terms of weapons. So I don't know what's actually been delivered.
This is what I don't understand. Like, people I used to know from back during Occupy are like flying Ukrainian flags and being like, we got to support this. Hassan Piker criticized me for saying we shouldn't be involved.
And he also said the invasion wasn't going to happen for sure, like 100%.
Shalhoun, it's the only way.
But my position
his suffering
has always
is what
been
makes it bearable.
99% non-intervention. Like, I've not changed at all in that regard.
Okay.
And the left has become pro-intervention, moving
but we're
them
not.
right.
But the Ukraine is on the defense. They were invaded. This is not the same
thing. Talk about Kuwait and Iraq and.
You want to talk about that? I'm in favor.
No, I mean, look,
we were the equivalent of Russia in the case of Iraq. We invaded under completely false pretenses. We invaded under illegal pretenses.
What I'm saying is, like, this
and we killed and decimated that country. Hundreds of thousands dead because of the US
If the left
empire.
position was only opposed to war because of the circumstances of the war, then I would say the left is more pro-war and to the right of me on war.
That's
what?
I'm completely anti-war, but the war happened because Russia invaded, and now Ukraine is trying to defend itself.
Right. So you're anti-war, you oppose war.
Yes.
But you're to the right of me when it comes to Ukraine.
I don't think so.
Do you believe that the U.S. should be supplying and aiding the Ukrainians?
I do believe so, because they're defending themselves.
Who gets that money?
The military.
But
they're defending.
Hey.
I do so love a surprise. Asterisk.
Ooh. And Nindreen following that up with 10 gifted subs.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Thank you very much, Nindreen. And chat. That's actually a pretty good number. I'm actually really surprised that you guys allowed this this charade of us actually being productive. I'm shocked. You didn't see through my clever ruse. You didn't see it, chat. You fools. You buffoons. You goddamn lunatics. All right. Let's go. I think you guys will enjoy this. Okay, let's go. All right, let's do this.
This is the plaintiff, Erin McErleen. She says she and the defendant are ex-boyfriends split up, and he's trying to run away from the money he owes her. That's right.
Get on over to twitch.tv, baby, /Riverboat Jack.
$1,205.34 he owes her for motorcycle repair she put on her credit card for him.